Hey there people, it's your favorite WeedleTwineedle, and today, as you can tell from the title of this video, we're going to be discussing a glitch that you can actually exploit in Ultra Sun and Moon and in a real battle if you're insane enough like me, and this glitch is known as the Rollout Storage glitch. Now I'm going to go over this glitch and how to perform it in game just so you guys aren't too confused by this glitch when I show it off in a real battle. So you're going to need to follow 2 steps to perform this glitch right here, and as the name would entail, the first step of this glitch is you'll need a Pokemon with the move Rollout. Alternatively, you can use the move Ice Ball as it works in the same manner Rollout does. But for this video, we'll be using Rollout because many more Pokemon have access to Rollout than Ice Ball, which grants us more options to explore with this glitch right here. Now the next step you'll have to follow is you'll have to be facing against a Mimikyu with its disguise intact. So if a Pokemon uses Rollout against a Mimikyu with its disguise intact, the turn number of Rollout will be incremented and continue normally. However, the damage multiplier of Rollout will be delayed by 1 turn when you break a Mimikyu's disguise. Now you're probably thinking, isn't that a bad thing? In theory it is, but once you complete your 5 hits of Rollout successfully, the attacking Pokemon is no longer locked into Rollout and can now switch up moves. So yeah, once you use a move that calls for the damage calculating formula, so think of pretty much any attack move besides like Sonic Boom or Seismic Toss, no matter what that move is, the damaging move selected will receive the base power multiplier that the 5th hit of Rollout normally has, thanks to the Rollout Storage delaying the damage multiplier by 1 turn, which is a 16 times multiplier to that move's base power. So in theory, if you activate Rollout Storage, then use Thunderbolt, a 90 base power attack, that 90 base power is multiplied by 16 times, which gives you 1,440 base power Thunderbolt, which is way beyond any attack in the game. And I'm sure some of you guys were thinking about this in the back of your head. Doesn't Defense Curl double Rollout and Ice Ball's damage? And that's right, this can come into play with this glitch as well, because if Defense Curl is used before you use Rollout, the base damage multiplier is effectively doubled, giving your Rollout Storage boosted attack a 32 times multiplier to the move's base power, which you can imagine is absolutely insane. It's without a doubt the biggest damage amplifier in all of Pokemon. Assuming that this glitch is real and isn't absolute BS. So to test out this glitch, I decided to battle my Ultra Moon copy to test this out. I could have done this against someone from my Discord, but at this point everyone's hyped about Sword and Shield, so no one cares about Ultra Sun and Moon, so in turn no one cares about me. But hey, maybe people will care about me in Sword and Shield. Also, this is kind of like annoying to set up if the person doesn't know what they're doing, so, and I didn't know if this was real, so I'm just like, to save myself the trouble, I'm just gonna battle myself right here. So yeah, in this test, I decided to use Licky Licky. Now the reasoning behind that is because it evolves from learning the move Rollout, so it's literally like iconic. The glitch is called Rollout Storage for a reason, right? So it's perfect for this. Has a great move pool to use for this glitch right here. Makes for a wonderful thumbnail, and overall, it's just an amazing Pokemon. Not to mention, since it's related to Kanto, it won't be removed in Sword and Shield. So yeah, for this demonstration, I'll be using Licky Licky, as Shaniqua number 2 has Mimikyu, which is mandatory to perform this glitch, and the other 2 Pokemon don't really matter. Machamp and Stack Attack are on this team just to demonstrate that it works, I guess. Like, they're not mandatory for this glitch. It's just Licky Licky and Mimikyu are the focus, and then Machamp and Stack Attack are the cheerleaders. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this mock battle right here. So I do understand that demonstrating this glitch in game and then showing it off in a real battle is a little overkill. However, I figured this was necessary just to test out this glitch, because at this point I didn't think this glitch was real. And just so there's no confusion at all when I show off the real battle in this video. So here we have Mimikyu versus Licky Licky. Now we're going to burn Licky Licky with Will-O-Wisp here, just because I want to half Licky Licky's attack set just to further demonstrate how broken this glitch is right here. And we're going to use Defense Curl, which does double the base power multiplier of Rollout, so that is, it's not necessary for this glitch, but you're pretty much wasting the potential of this glitch if you're not using the Defense Curl. So here we are, we're going to use the Rollout right onto the Mimikyu, which should, activate Rollout Storage because we're breaking Mimikyu's disguise, and in turn this should activate Rollout Storage, which will delay our base power multiplier of Rollout by 1 turn, which is exactly what we want. So we're going to actually switch out of Mimikyu right here and bring in Machamp. Now Machamp is named 4-play because, it has 4 arms, 4-play, and it's meant to take 4 rollouts. So I'm like, Machamp is very nice for this test right here because I don't have to worry about missing Rollout, because even though Rollout is a really crappy attack, It has it doesn't have perfect accuracy, so we can miss it. So no guards just to make it so we don't have to worry about missing rollout. And this is actually a third hit of rollout right here, which is not doing much damage, which is kind of proving that the damage multiplier is being delayed by 1 turn, because defense curl plus rollout is really, really strong. Don't sleep on that move, even though it's kind of bad. Here is the 4th hit of rollout right here, which does do decent damage. I believe that is an 8 times multiplier to rollout's base power. And now, Machamp's just spamming Sleep Talk so we don't kill the Licky Licky. Here is the 5th hit of rollout right here, which should have a 16 times multiplier, and it still does good damage considering we're burned, right? But now we've used all 5 of our rollouts, so we can now switch up attacks with Licky Licky. So I'm going to choose to switch out of Machamp right here and bring in the Trump Stream, the Stack Attacka. So Stack Attacka is max defense, max HP, and we're using Explosion. Now keep in mind, Stack Attacka quad resist Explosion.
What?
Stack Attacka just got one-shot by Explosion. Now, it had Cheelon Berry, Licky Licky was burned, and a quad resist. A Stack Attacka is max HP, max defense as well, and it couldn't even stand up to Licky Licky's explosion after the Rollout Storage glitch. That was the glitch demonstration right there. There is no way even +6 Licky Licky can one-shot a Stack Attacka with explosion. Even without the burn, a Stack Attacka will face tank it. And so, yeah, Licky Licky with that damage amplifier with explosion, that's actually reaches 8,000 base power, not even factoring in stab. And if you want to factor in stab for a rough estimate in the base power, it'd be 12,000 base power. However, that's not exactly how damage is calculated in Pokemon. But yeah, it's pretty strong. It one-shot Stack Attacka. It was probably pretty close. I'm sure Stack Attacka could have lived if it was like self-destruct, but not explosion. Not explosion. That was way too hard hitting. But that was a pretty good demonstration of this glitch. And after I figured this out and I figured out it was like real, I'm like, I need to make a team around this pronto because I need to show this off in a video. I was just gonna show off the glitch, but I'm like, I need to make a team around this because this is the coolest shit ever to me. So after a few hours in the lab, I thought of this team right here with a very odd team composition. We have Balissi, Scolipede, and Cinnabar, my husband. Of course I have to bring him for the thumbnail. And then we have the Mimikyu, because we need Mimikyu for this glitch, and it's mandatory. We need to bring Mimikyu. And we have Blissey as the rollout user, because I figure if there's any Pokemon that can survive for 5 turns in a real battle, it's probably Blissey, because Blissey is like impossible to kill. And I figure giving Blissey a huge damage amplifier would also be hilarious. And I also love using Blissey and Chansey in meme-ass ways, so I'm like, Blissey is the perfect Pokemon for this meme right here. Despite the fact we're on the free battle spot ladder trying out a gimmicky team, my opponent's team is actually pretty scary. He does have some really cool text, as you'll see once we get into the battle. I will admit, I won't lie, his team is pretty cool. He has Whimsicott, Mewtwo, Primal Groudon, and then he also has Mega Gengar. So his Mewtwo actually isn't Mega, which is pretty interesting to see. I'm just like amazed to not see Xerneas. So you guys probably see Groudon and Mewtwo, and you guys are probably like, gross! But I'm just like, it's not Xerneas! Woo! But yeah, without further ado, let's get into this battle against my opponent right here. Alrighty, so this battle, I'm sort of excited to show you guys this battle right here, because there's one turn in particular where I get so incredibly lucky, and that's the only reason why I got the strategy to work. But you'll see what I'm talking about once we get to that point in the battle right here. My opponent's going to lead off with Whimsicott and Mewtwo. I lead off with my Blissey and my Scolipede right here. So this is the part 1 of the strategy right here. My Blissey is actually packing a Z move right here, and we actually go first, and you guys see it is the Dark Z move, so it's kind of obvious we're going for Z Snatch, because Z Snatch is a common used move on the WeedleTwineedle channel, so we're going to go for Z Snatch. We want to get increased speed so my Blissey can go for Rollout into Mimikyu without risking the fact my opponent can break Mimikyu's disguise before I can, so the +2 speed is pretty important. My opponent actually goes for Taunt into Blissey, thinking I'm like a standard minimized strat, but sadly, I'm not allowed to use standard stuff on this channel, so we're using a meme with Z Snatch, and my opponent's actually gonna go for their own Z move here, so my please don't be, Psychic Z moving into my Scolipede, but instead, my opponent goes for Z Gravity, which is pretty cool to see, and I can sort of see my opponent's team composition come together here with Grass Whistle's Groudon, and maybe Hypnosis or Grass Whistle on the Whimsicott, but I'm gonna go for the Z Snatch, snatch my defense scroll here, because Blissey with the defense boost is obviously a lot harder to kill, but also because, like I mentioned earlier, defense scroll does double the rollout damage multiplier to up to 32 times instead of 16 times, so it's kind of important we go for defense scroll if we want Blissey to maximize the glitch's potential right here. But now we're gonna go for a rollout into my own Scolipede.
Inactivate our weakness policy.
And now what we can do is go for the Mega Horn straight into Mewtwo and just knock them out. Surprised they didn't protect their Mewtwo there, but down goes Mewtwo. Don't have to worry about it focus blasting my Blissey or side striking my Scolipede right here. Now I'm going to mention that my Blissey actually has EV spread to allow it to outspeed Scolipede by 1 speed point after it gets the Z-Snatch speed boost, and Scolipede gets the +1 speed boost from, speed boost itself. So my Blissey's EV spread is very specific to allow me to roll out my Scolipede and then obviously attack or baton pass out and go from there. So that's why my Blissey is fast, but it's not like too fast. It's like bulky, but it's also fast, if that makes any sense. But in comes Primal Groudon and the Gengar right here. Obviously Scolipede can't really touch both these Pokemon because like they're pretty tanky, and Gengar like quad resists both my stabs. So Mega Gengar obviously hard walls my Scolipede. So in this situation, I feel like I should probably baton pass out of here. So I'm gonna baton pass out with my Scolipede. And obviously we're going to bring in my husband right here, my Incineroar, and obviously we have the Power Trip shenanigans because I've used Power Trip Incineroar like 32 times on this channel, so it's not too surprising that we're packing it again. We also got to bring Incineroar for the thumbnail. You guys already know. Intimidate also helps in the fact that my Blissey will need to tank more physical attacks. Here my opponent goes for Hypnosis into my Incineroar, and I'm like, oh no, because now my opponent's likely going to Hypnosis into my Blissey the next turn, and I'm just not in a good position. And to top it all off, my opponent's going to hit me with the Precipice Blades and nearly knock out Incineroar, but we're just barely able to live because Incineroar is the thick furry dad. We love Incineroar on the WeedleTwineedle channel. But here, a miracle happens, and Blissey's healer wakes up Incineroar, and that was what I was talking about. I didn't even know my Blissey had healer. I transferred that from Gen 2 so I can get Rollout, but I didn't even realize I had healer, and my opponent was so shook by this, he clicks Double Protect. And when they click Double Protect without stalling out speed control, you know they are shook as hell. So my opponent's going to Double Protect here. I'm going to roll out into myself. This is the third hit of Rollout, I do believe. So, yeah, Blissey is hitting pretty hard with the rollouts, even though it has like base time attack. And here we're gonna Power Trip into Gengar because we don't want the Gengar Hypnosising into my Blissey because that will end my rollout loop, so we don't want that to happen. We're gonna roll out my own Incineroar here and knock us out because that is the 4th hit of rollout. Pretty strong when you're weak to rollout. It's like 500 base power at that point. My opponent's gonna go for Fire Punch here, and unfortunately they're going to burn me, which kind of sucks because my Blissey is a huge physical attacker. We kind of needed that 15 extra attack because Blissey with base time attack divided by 2, I guess it's like 0 divided by 2 is still 0, so it's not like the end of the world, but that residual damage is kind of frustrating. But now we're going to bring in Mimikyu here as my opponent's going to bring in the Whimsicott. And here, my opponent's going to go for a Taunt into the Mimikyu, probably expecting me to go for a Sword Stance or something, but I have no intentions of doing that. We're going to roll out into Mimikyu here and activate the Rollout Storage, which is really good for me because that is the glitch. And this was the last turn of Rollout right here, by the way, in case you guys weren't counting. I'm going to go for Fling here into the Groudon and activate the King's Rock Flinch so we can start out another turn, which worked perfectly. And now the 5 Rollout turns are over, so we can go for our last resort and just one-shot the Groudon from near full HP. So down goes the Groudon. Keep in mind I was burned as well, so that was Blissey's attack cut in half, and it was still able to one-shot Groudon because it was 140 base power times 32, which is pretty powerful. It's not quite as powerful as Explosion times 32, but it's still pretty powerful nonetheless. And as you can see from this turn right here, I actually go for a Last Resort again into the Whimsicott to show you guys just how little damage Last Resort would do without the Rollout Storage glitch. And my opponent's gonna go for Moonblast here into my Blissey because he's like, holy crap, Blissey was the threat the entire time, because that was the whole idea behind this team. I roll into Scolipede, get those weakness policy boosts, and then from there I either attack with Scolipede or baton pass out. And then I bring in Incineroar, and I also have Fake Out as well to stall a turn in case I need to. And then the entire plan is just to pretty much like redirect the aggro into like, Scolipede or Incineroar so Blissey can survive for 5 turns. And if Blissey can still take a few hits itself, so it's not like if they attack Blissey it's the end of the world. However, people still like to double target into Blissey because they get PTSD from minimize users, so it's still pretty hard to pull off the strategy. But I'm glad that my like bait and switch tactic with like the baton pass into like into Incineroar and then like roll into Mimikyu, I'm glad that finally worked out. Testing this team out on Battle Spot, I got Incineroar to sweep a ton of people, but Blissey just kept getting like focused down and killed, which is unfortunate, but like, I guess when people see Blissey, they just want to kill it, so that's totally understandable. But this is like the one battle where I got Rollout Storage to actually work, and Incineroar didn't steal the show. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle video right here, exploiting the Rollout Storage glitch in a real battle. It can be done if you're insane enough like me, like I mentioned, and if you guys think I'm still bullshit, test this glitch out in game, just roll out or Ice Ball into a Mimikyu. survive for 5 turns and see if you just destroy something with it, like wrap or something. It does work, but like in case you guys think I'm BSing, I mean, try it out yourself. And will this work in Sword and Shield? Only time will tell. If you're watching this video when Sword and Shield comes out for some reason, let me know if this works in Sword and Shield. It probably does because Game Freak is lazy AF and won't patch it out because indie company, by the way. But maybe it'll be patched out in Sword and Shield because Mimikyu is confirmed for Sword and Shield, so maybe it'll get patched out by Game Freak, or maybe we can exploit it versus Mimilax players when Mimikyu Snorlax is used on every single VGC 2020 team. I'm sort of curious, did you already know about this glitch already, or is this the first time you're hearing of this? Let me know in the comments down below if you've known about this glitch or you haven't. I assume the vast majority of you guys did not know about this glitch because I didn't know about this glitch, and I'm like half the reason why the Pokemon community even knows about like cool techs like Simple Beam Gardevoir. I highly doubt anyone would have even known about that without me, or like Power Trip Weakness Policy in Incineroar. Like you can say like, oh, I thought of that, but like, let's be real. So you got swept by that, and you were like, I'm gonna use that too, but like that person who swept you probably got that idea for me. But sorry, I'm ranting at this point. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video exploiting the Rollout Storage glitch. If you guys have any friends who may find this video interesting or glitch interesting, feel free to share this video with them, spread some awareness to this glitch. And if you guys enjoyed the video, hit this video with a like. I really appreciate that, or a dislike depending on how you view the video. You can leave me any sort of criticism in the comments down below. And if you have any questions on how this glitch works, like why didn't I use like Rock Slide or something, leave that in the comments down below, because I can answer that, but it would take like 2 minutes of talking to answer that question. So you can just leave that question in the comments down below, or any sort of feedback you have on this video. But yeah, that'll do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. I love you all very, very much. And I'll check you guys in my next video. Bye.